This is TOS Television, your digital-first Pan-African news network. I'm Ruwa Panawa, and this is Africa Now. Jesse Duarte has been appointed the Secretary General of South Africa's ruling party, African National Congress, ANC, following the suspension of Ace Magashule last week on corruption charges. South African President and President of the party, Cyril Ramaphosa, made the announcement on Monday.
In the light of the temporary suspension of the Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General Jesse Duarte will, in accordance with the ANC's constitution, carry out the functions entrusted to the Secretary General.
Defense ministers of Burkina Faso and Ivory Coast say they are committing to mutualize their efforts in the fight against jihadism. Cherusai and Tenebi Rahima Ouattara disclosed this on Monday in Ouagadougou. Qatar, following a meeting with Sai, said they believe that the fight against terrorism cannot be led by a single state. Burkina Faso, since 2015, has had frequent jihadist attacks that have killed more than 1,300 people and forced more than 1 million to flee their homes. The United Nations peacekeeping mission say one of its female peacekeepers from Malawi was killed in an attack by an Islamist militia in eastern Congo's North Kivu province on Monday morning. The Malawi Defense Force, MDF, in a statement said Chitenji Kamanga, 28, was killed when the UN base in the village of Kilia was attacked at noon. MONUSCO, the UN peacekeeping mission, has deployed around 12,000 troops to contain violence in the southeastern African country by more than 120 armed groups. On Monday night, a new parliament, including lawmakers from opposing sides in South Sudan, was announced by President Salva Kiir after dissolving one on Sunday. The announcement was broadcast on South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation, SSBC. A new appointment was according to the 2018 peacekeeping agreement signed by President Kiir and Vice President Riek Machar to end the 5-year civil war that led 380,000 people dead and 4 million displaced. In accordance with the accord, the new Transitional National Legislative Assembly is now made up of 550 lawmakers, up from 332 lawmakers, which were chosen from President Kiir's Sudan People's Liberation Movement, and the remaining 128 from Vice President Machar's Sudan People's Liberation Movement in opposition. General Mahamat Debi Itno, the newly appointed leader of Chad's Transitional Military Council, was in neighboring Niger on Monday, making it his first international trip after his appointment. He had a one-on-one meeting with President Mohamed Bazoum and thanked President Bazoum, whom we refer to as a brother, for a warm welcome. The aim of the meeting, according to Itno, is to reaffirm the country's friendship. Both Chad and Niger are both members of the Western-backed G5 countries fighting Islamist militants in the Sahel region, alongside Burkina Faso, Mali, and Mauritania. This is your digital-first Pan-African news network, TOS Television. You're watching Africa Now. Up next is business. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. In business, at the 22nd Founders Day lecture of the Igbinedion University, Professor Oyelaron Oyeyinka Oyebanji, Senior Special Advisor on Industrialization at the African Development Bank, AFDB, revealed that as Africa's largest economy, Nigeria urgently needs economic diversification to move the country towards multiple income sources. The AFDB, intent on diversification, stated that it is dangerous to rely on a single or narrow range of commodities, as economic diversification entails a shift towards multiple income sources from an increasing spectrum of sectors, products, and markets. Earlier, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, had stated that Nigeria's economic recovery relied heavily on economic diversification. Despite Nigeria's exit from recession in the fourth quarter of 2020, the nation's economy had remained fragile. President Muhammadu Buhari was told by the Presidential Economic Advisory Council, who regretted that inflation has continued to rise even as unemployment also remained high. The council, which is laden with the responsibility of giving the president economic policy advice, explained during its presentation at its 6th regular meeting that while global economy has continued to improve due to the drop in COVID-19 infections, the same cannot be said of Nigeria's economy. Another aspect, according to the Council, that required urgent attention from the President is the nation's security funding. The rand is back to 14 rand per dollar. This has quite a number of positive spin-offs, including the fact that domestic interest rates are unlikely to be hiked anytime soon. A stronger rand makes dollar-denominated imports cheaper and therefore helps to counter the crude rally. This upturn is the key driver behind the rand's bull run and has delivered record South African current account and trade surpluses. To boost its investments in Egypt, multinational global provider of intelligent water management and alternative energy solutions, Metito, will employ 50% of the International Finance Corporation, IFC, a member of the World Bank Group. The major plan is to secure additional liquidity and working capital in order to develop more sustainable projects and new technologies. The financing package, which amounts to $20 million, is part of IFC's $8 billion COVID-19 fast-track financing facility, launched to support businesses and sustain jobs through the pandemic. The managing director of Metito Africa, engineer Karim Madouar, said the boost in investments will be directly reflected in key African markets. A road and rail bridge linking Botswana and Zambia aimed at easing congestion at border crossings and boosting trade has been inaugurated. The multi-million-dollar project stretches for some 3,000 feet over the Zambezi River, providing an alternative route for hauliers. Zambia's President Edgar Lungu, at the ribbon-cutting ceremony on Monday, said the bridge will lower the cost of doing business while anticipating an increase in trade and competitiveness, job creation, tourism, and other possible ripple effect. On the other hand, Botswana's president said the bridge would open avenues for improved trade. He added that Botswana regarded Zambia as a key strategic partner in development, and the project was a demonstration of the continuous growing relations. This is your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. You're watching Africa Now. COVID-19 developments and more after the break. Do stay tuned. Thank you for staying tuned. Sudan is experiencing a shortage in medical oxygen cylinders amidst the increasing cases of the coronavirus pandemic ravaging the country. The acute shortage of oxygen is partly due to power cuts that impeded production at the country's main plant, leaving hospitals unable to provide adequate care for COVID-19 patients. Health officials say about 300 ventilators are available in the country, with a population of over 40 million people. The country has recorded 33,000 cases and over 2,600 deaths since the start of the pandemic, which officials say might be higher due to low testing rates. Kenya says it has inoculated more than 900,000 of its citizens against COVID-19 since the exercise began in early March. Mutahi Kagwe, Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Health, in a statement disclosed that of the 917,068 persons vaccinated, 280,876 are aged 58 years and above, 160,947 are health workers, while 143,684 and 77,417 are teachers and security officers respectively, and 254,000, 144 are in the other categories. He further stated that the government was keen to boost COVID-19 vaccine uptake amidst skepticism among sectors of the population linked to misinformation about its side effects. Kenya has confirmed 163,620 COVID-19 cases, 112,298 recoveries, and 2,907 deaths as of Monday. Away from COVID-19, a total of 7,096 migrants have been rescued off the Libyan coast so far this year. According to the United Nations International Organization of Migration, the rescued migrants include 546 women and 306 336 miners, while 157 migrants died and 349 others went missing on the central Mediterranean route so far. The IOM added that in 2020, 11,891 migrants were rescued and returned to Libya. 381 died and 597 others went missing, according to IOM. The fall of Libya's longtime leader, Muammar Gaddafi, in 2011 prompted the state of insecurity and chaos in the country and has encouraged thousands of migrants to cross the Mediterranean Sea towards European shores. All flights from neighboring Somalia has been banned by the Kenyan government just a week after the two countries announced they had restored ties. No reason was given for the suspension, but the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority that issued the notice said only medical emergency evacuation flights and those on United Nations humanitarian missions will be allowed into the Kenyan airspace. Since 2014, Kenya and Somalia have been entangled in maritime border dispute since over a 160,000 square kilometers triangle in the Indian Ocean, which is thought to be rich in oil and gas. And that is Africa Now. For more updates, do visit our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. Do also follow and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. Do stay with us and enjoy my programs on TOS Television Network. I'm Ruwal Panao. Thank you for watching.